And welcome to Film Fights with Friends, folks. I'm here with my co-host, Paul Verace.
And I'm here with my co-host.
Yeah, multiple co's. Stephen Kepfer. Oh my God, that Santa hat is too tight.
There was a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, man. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, winter, solstice, whatever, all that.
Merry Christmas, Hanukkah,
Yeah.
Kwanzaa.
Yeah, exactly, man. Dude.
What an episode we have.
Yeah. Walker Hare.
Yeah. The scene that we're gonna open with was so intense.
Yeah. So we're talking about episode 7 of Black Rabbit on Netflix. Definitely tune in. We can't link. I've looked on YouTube to see if the fight is on YouTube. It's not, but if you're on Netflix, definitely go watch episode 7 or the whole series because it's freaking great.
Mm-hmm.
But Walker is in a really brutal fight scene, not technical. We're talking about domestic abuse.
Yep.
Really brutal fight scene.
Rough scene too, for sure.
Yeah, very rough.
Extremely realistic in the way it unfolds too.
Yeah,
it was very well done.
And so I know Walker from Artist Unknown, and you folks can go back to season 1. We have Cinder Chow and Carrie Lacey from Artist Unknown on an earlier episode, but Walker was also in that movie, and I got to help out with that film a bit. And I saw him on Black Rabbit and hit him up and said, "Hey, come on the show, dude." And he did not disappoint.
Not at all. This was a great episode, and again with my experience literally working at one, possibly 2 of the restaurants that
they based this on.
Is pretty amazing watching the show. I don't even know if I can really explain how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Because it was just it's so crazy. And it's so crazy that when people are like, oh, Bubba, it's like, yeah, it's not really that far off.
No. And so what you're going to get on this show is a really good dose of filmmaking talk and some restaurateur history of New York City.
There is, definitely a lot of New York restaurant law in this show is in it unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
And there may be some creative liberties taken, but I would say it's pretty much went down.
For me, I felt nostalgic looking at the exteriors that they shot of the Bridge Cafe downtown, because knowing that it was closed, it was the oldest functioning pub in the city until Hurricane Sandy, when I think Sandy destroyed it and they couldn't recover. They tried to do a GoFundMe and stuff, but the history of the Bridge Cafe, people should look that up. It goes all the way back to early New York. Early settlements, pirates, jars full of ears that were bitten off in fights behind the bar. It's got a crazy history, and it was cool to see it there. It was a little nostalgic for me because I know that it actually is just sitting there empty right now. The building. Somebody should do something with that building. It's a landmark.
Do something with a lot of buildings in the city.
It's also one of the last buildings. I took a history of New York course when I was in college, and it's one of the last buildings that was made of wood before they outlawed making buildings out of wood because of fires. And it was one of only a few buildings left in Manhattan that are still standing that are made out of wood, completely out of wood. So it's a really cool piece of history to see caught on film too. But dude, what's up with you? Anything?
Let's see, what's up with me? Nothing really. Got a phone call about some possible work. They needed a cop, but not copy enough.
I got to work on a feature, a couple days on a feature,
but again, at least the phone calls are coming in.
Yeah,
for availability checks.
I was really bummed because I was put up for that same day, that same scene, and it would have been the first time on a production that wasn't ours
that we're working.
That we would have worked together, but neither of us got it. I did get a couple of days working on a feature film, which I'll talk about later when it comes out. But it was a fun few days working at JFK Airport.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So that was cool.
That was a cool day.
We'll talk more about that when the movie drops next year. So you guys will be waiting a while.
Be violating NDAs.
Yeah, totally, man. So, hey, December 20th, a few days from now.
Come hang out with us.
We are having our mixer, open workout, movie night, totally free.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Patreon supporter, you will get a free gift that everybody else won't get.
We got some giveaways for you.
Yes. So from 11 to 4, we're going to have an open workout. You can come get your mitt work on, your grappling, your judo, your jiu-jitsu. You come hang out,
Mm-hmm.
get some workout with us. That'll be fun. We'd love to meet you. From 4 to 6, we're just doing like a little hang.
Even if you just want to come by and say hi and watch us work out,
Yeah.
just
You
come
don't have
by.
to.
See, we got chairs.
You don't have to build up a sweat.
Mm-hmm.
But and then at 6 o'clock, we're showing a movie.
Yes, we are. We're not sure what we're shooting. We're going to show yet, but
Yeah. Well, probably by now, by the time this drops, we'll know.
well, that's also very true.
But right now, when we're recording this, we don't fucking know.
Yes.
So it's another time. Going to go back in time.
Meow.
But yeah, so the event pages are in our show notes, and hopefully we'll see you there, man. And we couldn't do any of this without Stunt Contact, of course.
Stunt Contact. I wouldn't be able to get a job if it wasn't for or apply for a job if it wasn't for Stunt Contact, because I just kind of don't know where to go anymore.
Yeah, it's a different world.
Ever since, it kind of going to set and hustling stopped being okay.
Yeah,
Which is it was a thing when like going to set and hustling was like something that was like, yeah, you got to do it. You got to go get your face in front of these coordinators,
well, COVID
and
completely changed
completely killed that.
I mean, I honestly haven't hustled a set since COVID.
Me neither.
I mean, if I'm walking home and I see a location shoot, I'll check the honey wagon, see if there's like stunt
Yeah, if you see a
players,
name, someone you know.
then maybe I'll stick around and see who's coordinating. But otherwise, I don't go out of my way to do it anymore.
Nope.
No, that's that part of the industry. I don't think it's totally gone, but it's definitely got a wet blanket on it.
I feel like now it's kind of like call ahead.
Yeah.
Don't just show up.
But Stunt Contact, though, man, the Stunt Contact's been around since '96, I believe, and it originally used to be a newsletter. Now it's digitalized. Digitalized, is that a word? I think so.
Digitalized and specialized.
Yeah, it's great. It's one of the best breakdowns you can get, not only just for stunts, but for film.
Production breakdowns.
Yeah, definitely worth the subscription. And plus, they support us, so you should support them. They're awesome.
And, if your work is slow and whatever, and you've never used Stunt Contact, give it a try. Maybe there's productions going on that you don't know about that Stunt Contact can help you out with.
I sent out about 10 emails in the last week or so, give or take. So, yeah, it's great information. I would definitely check them out at the very least. And their web link is in our show notes.
That's right. And you can join our mailing list at filmfightswithfriends@gmail.com, please. No, did I get it wrong?
Yeah, it's actually written right there.
Film Fights with Friends pod. I forgot the pod.
No, Fighting with Friends pod. Fighting with Friends pod at gmail.com.
Oh, it's so funny.
Because it's our old title.
Well, I have her Rudolph's reins in between the fighting, so it just
there we
like
go.
film.
Yeah, but it's Fighting with Friends pod at gmail.com. If you want to jump on our mailing list, have any questions about renting our space, which is behind us, you can do that too. You want to rent the space, host a workshop here, anything you need from us, except for money, you can hit up Fighting with Friends.
Yes, we need money from you.
Yeah. So regarding money, you can Zelle Fighting with Friends pod at gmail.com. Any amount that you would like. Don't bother emailing. Just plug that right into your Zelle.
Just send us money.
Yeah, totally. But and while you're doing it, just subscribe, follow, like us everywhere. Throw us some reviews, comments on the YouTube,
comments and questions. We love engagement from our fans. It's one of our favorite things to do is read their questions and answer them during this time.
Absolutely.
So please engage, ask questions. And also, we would love to hear your thoughts on future episodes. That maybe if you guys have any ideas on that,
totally.
Nice to, see what you guys would want to see us do.
Totally. Or if there's somebody you want on the show, hit us up at that email that we got wrong 4 times and got right the 5th time. And tell us who you want on the show.
Come on, man. I got it wrong. You got it right.
Okay. Well, as far as the listener is concerned,
I appreciate you trying to take a little bit of the bullet, but
it's all good, man.
You don't have to.
It's what makes us, Paul.
Never go full retard.
Yep. Anyway, dude, I think at this point we should bring in Walker.
Ah, I can't wait. This is gonna be a fun interview.
It's really good. Hope you guys enjoy it.
What's going on? How are you, good sir? I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Yeah, totally, man.
I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be here in the amidst all of the craziness of the holidays.
Yeah, totally, dude. Happy holidays to all you folks out there. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating.
All of the good
All that,
Kwanzaa,
things.
all that shit. Kwanzaa. Yeah.
yeah.
Yo, dude,
Merry Christmas, Hana Quantica.
how many times did people make a joke that your last name is Hare and you're on Black Rabbit?
Yeah, it didn't. I'm surprised it didn't come up more often.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I remember when the first time I met Bateman was I was doing a fitting, and this was like months before. It was like the beginning of the shoot because there were all these photos that were they're looking at these photos, and Big Dick was he was talked a lot about as can happen, talked a lot about before he was actually seen. And so I remember though going to this fitting, and they had me all set up, and then all of a sudden they got a little nervous, and they're like, oh, we got to switch you into the other room, the big guy's coming, the big guy being Jason Bateman. And
Right.
I was like, oh, and they kind of put me in this corner. They had to try on. I had like a bowling shirt that said Dick on it, and it was going to be in the bar. And he looks at it in, like, I think the first episode, but so they needed to shoot it to have it on the day. And I was walking out of there, and we didn't really cross paths, but I'm walking along to go to buy hair and makeup to check out the mustache, and they're like, all of a sudden I'm walking, I see this like kind of like what I think is like a homeless vagrant walking, unhoused. Maybe he's not a vagrant, just someone who looked down on their luck. We'll say that. And walking past, and I hear Big Dick, and he's got that voice that's so.
Yeah.
If you listen to Smartless anything, or
Yeah,
have
totally.
followed his
Totally.
career for the past 40 years, so I was like, I immediately knew, and I looked over, and I was like, oh my god, and he had that big beard,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
I was like, oh, he's like, you're Dick, right? And I'm like, yeah, 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 I am. And I was like, I'm actually Walker Hare. And he goes, Hare? And I was like, yeah, like a rabbit. He goes, oh, well, I guess we just really lucked out, didn't we? And I think that was the only time it was ever mentioned, and never again on set. But
Well, cool, but that's a good
I
mention. That's a good mention,
yeah,
right?
I got my oh, you can see my Black Rabbit coaster from the bar, and
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice.
yep, the swag souvenir. Gave some to my family. We're very big into rabbits. Hard to see behind me, but this one of these posted. There's a lot of
Yeah,
rabbits,
that's cool.
hares in my life.
My nieces have rabbits, pet rabbits.
I thought for a second, I thought you said your niece was half rabbit, and I was like, oh, part of the
Could very well
family,
be. I don't know,
just
but
He's
distant
from the
relatives.
island of Dr. Moreau.
yeah, totally.
Oh, interesting, interesting. I like it.
So, man, what's interesting though is also like so you play this really big piece of shit, but you're also not in any of it's so cool. Like you're almost in a separate show. Like right, all your episodes are the flashback episodes.
Hmm.
And so you're not part of that whole restaurant tour scene part of the story. It's almost like you're separate. I mean, did you have much interaction with Bateman and or was it almost like a separate thing? Because I know he didn't direct your episode.
He did not direct. I met him that first day, and he
Right.
was very nice. So glad to have you with us. And obviously, he was an EP on the show, and so
Sure.
he had known who I was before. Before I showed up. I'm sure
Right.
my tapes went through clearance through him and everything. But yeah, then we on the day never, my interactions were with the directors
Sure.
of the two different episodes I was in, because they shot in blocks. So he did the first two, and then Laura did the second two, and then 5 and 6 were Ben, and then 7 and 8 were Justin. And so mine were with the last two. And I didn't see Jason again actually until I went to the premiere, and I kind of walking down the carpet, and I see the guy who plays Minnie Bateman, Charlie, and he's an awesome little actor, and just kind of had this big love fest, big hug, and we're just can I curse on this? I can curse on this.
Yes, you
Absolutely.
fucking can. Yep.
Okay, I thought so. I watched another, and I would do a little research, and I saw, I think "Abso-fucking-lutely" is like your tagline.
Pretty
And
much.
now that Marin's gone, what the fuck, you got it all. But
There we go.
so yeah, so I'm on the carpet, and he and I are taking some pictures, and his mom's taking pics of us, and then uh, I feel that I hear that voice, and I feel a tap on the shoulder, and it's like, "Hey, big guy." And I see and turn, and sure enough, is like it was like the start and then the end. It was like kind of this fun bookend
That's
where I
cool.
turned back and there he was on the carpet, and he's like, "Have you seen it yet?" And I was like, "No, not yet." And he's like, "You're fucking incredible." And he just like had some really nice things to say
That's cool.
about Big Dick, which was a lot of fun.
Which he switched to big guy in front of the kid, I guess, right?
I don't know. I mean, the kid, Charlie's
Yeah,
wiser than all of us, more
yeah.
mature than me for sure. Yeah, but
So
it's wild. They had a picture too. Side note, real quick. I know this isn't, but they had a picture of him of Bateman back like when he was that age,
oh,
and then
wow.
pick and then side by side with Charlie, and this like spitting image of those two. I thought the casting of the two kids, the mini Jude Law and Jason Bateman, were really great.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Bateman as a kid from watching him on TV as a kid.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
crazy. But you did do an amazing job. And so what we like to start, and thank you for sending us the sides. We're going to just read a little bit of it. When after we read it, we'll get your reactions and start talking about this fight scene because it was really fucking brutal, dude.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's the kind of fight scene I like. It was visceral, untechnical, and just like brutal.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so a turntable spinning in the living room where Sheila Friedkin, 33, the boy's mother, dances by herself. She's blonde, vivacious, dreams too big for this house, dressed from a night out and a bit tipsy and unaware that Richard, Big Dick Friedkin, their dad, 45, a hustler, has arrived home, leaning in the kitchen doorway with a beer, drunk per usual, either admiring or surveilling his wife. He approaches, she dances, puts his hands on her hips, surprising her. She welcomes him as they dance together. Where'd you go tonight? Out with some friends. Which friends? Where'd you go? Just some girls. You don't know 'em. Big Dick. How do you know that? I know a lot of people. Try me. By now, Sheila and we know this isn't innocent questioning. Sheila says, Sarah. Sarah? You wrote that to see, right? Yeah. Who the fuck were you with? I don't have to tell you. Let go. She tries to break out of his embrace, but then she does. When she does, he shoves her casually, violently. His beer falls. Great, he says. The crash of a beer bottle awakens the kids upstairs. We'll skip past that scene and get back to the fight. But the kids upstairs, Vince is awake. Alone, young Vince creeps down the stairs in his pajamas, arriving to the third floor, landing from where he can see his parents fighting, pinballing in and out of his sight on the ground floor. Big Dick, I know what you're doing. You're trying to ruin my reputation. Sheila, your reputation, you owe money all over town. You can't pay your tab at your own bar. What's your reputation? Wham, he hits her. She falls. Young Vince yells, Dad, stop. Big Dick looks up. Go back to bed or you're next. Young Vince believes him, and as Dick starts for the stairs, Sheila on her feet. Don't touch him. She violently absorbs Dick's attention, but bam, she gets sent to the ground as a reward. Upstairs, young Vince freezes. Seeing his father's New York Jets bowling bag in the threshold of his parents' bedroom, he considers it as downstairs. Dick is winded from his effort, belligerent now, seated on the radiator cover, eyeballing Sheila on the floor. You don't fucking do it. Don't get up, all right? You fucking asked for it. His hand reaches for something leaning against the radiator, a baseball bat. Big Dick, this is not my fucking fault. You did this. And just as he begins to rise, Big Dick looks up in time to see his New York Jets bowling ball drop from the hands of his son, plummeting from 2 stories up. And bam, it lands with a sickening crack on his head. Big Dick hits the floor. So does the Jets ball, blood soaking both, neither moving. The only sound, just that soulful song playing incongruously as now Sheila looks up at young Vince, terror on his face. Dude,
Hmm.
insane. What are your thoughts? Like when you got the sides, what were you thinking? Or when you got
Yeah,
the job, what were you thinking? It's crazy.
yeah. I mean, so I just realized that I meant to send you another thing as well, which was the original sides,
Yeah.
which were um let me see if I can pull them up real quick. But
Because
so,
'cause
what, what were you?
we were reading through it, and we were like, the fight on that we saw in the show was
Mhm.
so much more brutal than this,
Mhm.
except
Yeah,
we don't remember a baseball bat in the scene,
right.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, and if I may, I
Yeah,
want to go back. I want to go to even further back,
sure.
the
Let's do it.
original OG audition sides, and I'll just read this real quick.
Yeah, please do.
Um, I'll skip past the initial interrogation, but it says um, Sheila says they have this interaction, and then wham, he slaps her. Uh, she swallows it accustomed, but it startles young Vince at the top of the stairs. He notices, he sees the bowling ball. Big dick. We move to another POV, and then he's this reputation stuff. Wham! He hits her again, and then originally, I don't know if I should say this or not. Actually, um, it changed.
Yeah,
And
well,
needless to
it
Yeah.
always
say,
Let's.
changes. It always tell us. You don't have to read it, but tell us what was the flavor of the original edition compared to
it
the.
was just violence, and
Mhm,
it was much more contained,
mm,
and it was like it didn't even describe much of what you read there,
right.
which kind of came from working with our fight coordinator Tracy, who's awesome.
We love
And
Tracy. We know Tracy very well. She's
yeah,
super cool.
she was great watching her
Tracy
throw herself
Ruggiero.
around,
Yeah.
and she was awesome. And then we both had our stunt doubles. What my guy's name was, I want to say Zoltan,
Oh, yeah.
Zoltan, Zoltan, and Kara. Um,
Cara Rosella?
yep,
Yep, yep, yep. We know them both. Great people.
yeah, yeah, super sweet, and really, uh, yeah, just nice. And so we kind of like we were in the space that we shot at was not on the studio location. It was an actual house that like had been untouched for years. So I mean the location looked incredible.
Wow.
It was perfect for that. And so you go in there and you just kind of you start to you have an idea in your head, or the writers, showrunners, Zach and Kate, who um you know they did a great job of like really painting what they needed. And then I mean, it was the series. I could go on and on with the superlatives that of their series, and talk all about them. But the really cool thing I felt like was when we got in there, and it was Tracy and everyone else, and then along with that, Justin, the director, who's got this wealth of experience
That's
working
Justin
on
Kurzel, just so people listening
sorry,
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
Justin Kurzel, yeah.
yeah.
So, and he had just worked with Zach Balin, the one of the showrunners, and Jude Law on this film called The Order.
Oh,
Um,
love that movie.
with
Mhm.
great movie, great flick. Jude Law's got a walrus mustache. Um, but the so he also did this incredible film called Nitram. And he's got this great filmography of films, essentially where it's like the the way I describe it's kind of like making of a monster, like going
Mhm,
inside of how people become the way they are, and these
right.
really awful. That one's happens to be a mass shooting, the last mass shooting in New Zealand, or in Australia. But so essentially, they all got together and they were talking about like originally in the OG script, which is what I was trying to get to. It was very short, and it
Mhm.
was short, and I want to say if memory serves, it ended with young Vince picking up the bowling ball and swinging it as I'm down on the ground with her and
Mm.
hitting me in the head with it.
Hmm.
And
Not
so
dropping it. Yeah.
and not dropping it, but they had the location so they see, all right, 3 stories up. He's got this kind of perfect vantage point.
Yeah.
And the way they had the radiator there, and they kind of worked on, and I remember showing up on the day before rather, the rehearsal day with the fight choreo, and seeing them go through it with, Tracy and Zoltan, all of them, and being like, "Oh, wow, this is not what was written." Like,
Yeah.
it was, like, very violent, and trying to go with, like, where the dialogue would go in, and
Mhm.
then where, like, story-wise, the story beats that would all work. It
Sure.
was really like this dance, and I think the thing that we were really working on was obviously keeping it safe, but also like what is like fighting that stereotype of it just being like drunk asshole who comes in and beats on his wife. And so that's why we got to actually, speaking of dances, got to do the dance before,
Right.
got to see like these kind of moments of love, this back and forth. And what you read was several drafts in because it used to be
Sure.
a shorter, a much quicker scene. And I think the really cool thing was that Zach and Kate rewrote some things as we were like improvising the day before, kind of going through it. And it was all this big, real big collaboration where it was like, there was supposed to be some violence, and then this other talk, the part about the reputation and being being a player
Mhm.
all around town, and that was supposed to come after some violence had already happened, and
Right.
it kind of the team realized very quickly, like, this does, when the violence starts, that's what it is. And there might be some shouts, there might be some fucks, there might be some
Right.
some screams and things, but you aren't stopping to have a conversation at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think
It's gritty and
you guys
dirty.
made a great choice of dropping the bowling ball. So I'll just keep it short and quick. But I come from this background. This was me growing up, and
Oh.
the no whatever, shit happens. The him going down and hitting him and hitting you with a bowling ball would have been insanely unbelievable from someone who comes from that because one, he would have just pissed you off.
Mhm.
It's a bowling ball, and so dropping it, and also just his mentality and psyche is he gets to drop it. He's not really there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a disassociative move,
There's
and that's the one he's going to go for.
there's also like a measure of safety, right?
Hmm.
Like there's some distance between what's going on down there and me, so I can take a chance.
And if he goes down there, he's not going down there with a bowling ball and swinging it to hit him. He's dropping it at the top of the stairs and he's running down.
Right. And I think also to the credit of everyone who kind of figured that out was essentially um not only that, it's there's also the is he actually trying to kill him versus is he just trying to stop him?
Yeah, just make it
And
stop.
there was a lot of talk about that. I just wanted to make him stop versus,
I think when you're going through it, or at least when I was going through it, it's a matter of making it stop. It's not an intent of in harm. That comes
Mhm.
after.
Of course.
That
Yeah.
comes after.
Yeah.
You don't go through that while it's happening. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're scared, you wanna make it stop, and your reactions are either compliant, or when you're in a situation like that and you have time, you can act, but in the moment, it's
Right.
just fucked in your brain.
So, so we know each other before. For the listeners, we worked together on Artist Unknown, which you also played an asshole husband or boyfriend
Mhm.
or whatever. But
Yeah.
It's kinda
Yeah.
great when you get to play the asshole. I always seem to get to play the fucking
yeah,
a scumbag.
but it's so opposite who
Yeah.
you are. It's so opposite who you are in life. Like anybody who knows you. Like I hit
Yeah.
up Cinder
It's
when I saw you on the show. I hit up Cinder. I texted her. I said, "Oh, I just saw Walker on Black Rabbit. He's playing another fucking asshole husband." Like what,
yeah.
But when you get these roles where you're playing such a fucking douchebag like that, like what? How do you kind of get yourself into that zone because you're not a douchebag, or is there a freedom of you being able to be the asshole?
Do you need time
Well,
by yourself?
yeah, I mean, that's between me and my therapist, Bob. Um, no,
Bob,
but I
the rubber one that you punch, Bob.
yeah, yeah. Bob, shut up, Bob. He's right over there in the corner just staring at me. Um, no, I think I think it's more fun for me. Thank
Yeah,
you for the kind words. I appreciate that. And I know I remember when I got this audition, I sent to my manager. I was like, I sent that clip from that you're talking about from Artist Unknown, which is kind
right.
of like a really fun scene.
Well,
Uh,
that scene,
dark.
by the way, just as a to put a pause on that, that scene completely changed the flavor of the movie. Like that
Mm,
movie was pretty much like rom-commy, funny
Mhm,
up until that moment. It got really fucking serious,
mhm.
and you were so
yeah.
good. You and Sonia Mina in that scene were really good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun working with her on that. I think there was like, just this inherent trust to be able to, and that's, as you guys know, that's the deal with all this stuff.
Right.
It's the same thing like with a sex scene, as a fight scene, as a dance. It's choreographed. It's if you don't trust the other person or the
Mhm.
people around you, it's not going to turn out that way. And I think with Artists Unknown, like it was really, the fun thing is that Black Rabbit and Artists Unknown were very similar in terms of those scenes. Um, in terms of it didn't just immediately go to the violence. There was a little bit of playfulness. There
Mhm.
was a little bit of banter, flirting, an accusation, and then it turns violent. And I
Right.
think the only difference between those two sets was, a couple $1,000,000.
Well,
Um,
Yeah.
in order to justify violence like that, the perpetrator usually finds a way to manipulate the situation to justify it, and that's
mhm.
was done perfectly in that scene.
Clearly.
Yeah. Thanks.
So
Yeah.
you were saying, but so when you got you got the call to audition for this, you sent them
Oh
that
yeah.
scene. Yeah.
Well, so after I did the pre-read, or the audition was on Zoom with someone over at Alexa Fogel's casting, Catherine Zamora Benson, who's brought me in many times. Shout out to her, she's amazing. And we did it, and we just did it once. There was a slap in the sides, and then in the sides, you aren't gonna start and disappear
Yeah,
off
yeah.
screen and start kicking and then like die. So there was like this, this kind of ended with this slap. And I remember in the sides, actually, now I remember this, there was a slapping away of the kid and knocking
Mhm.
him away. And
Mhm.
kind of that was a moment. And so we did it once, and she's like, "Great work as always, Walker. Thanks." And like, boom, gone. I was like, well, either like it was great, or I'm just like not right for the part. And I had the mustache at the time. And one of the things I joke about is, and I think is true, is that, as Paul was saying, like I've fallen into this uh sort of thing. The way I'm getting cast these days is asshole with a mustache or asshole in a suit. And then
Right.
sometimes when we get a little crazy, it's asshole in a suit with a mustache.
There you go.
And so that's kind of the bread and butter right now. And so I just leaned into that, and I had that scene from Artist Unknown. So I was like, you know what? This it's not the exact same person, but it's a very familiar flavor. So
Mhm.
I passed that on. I don't know if it made it to casting as well, but I after I got done with the audition, I was like, I feel like this could be helpful. And I
Sure.
cut that scene, and Sonia is so great in it, and they made me look nice and scary in it. And so it was I don't know if that helped or not, but it certainly didn't hurt.
It put it out there into the ether, into the zeitgeist of what you can do,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah. And I'm still waiting, and you can, as you know, Cinder, you've talked to her more often than I do.
Sure.
Whenever we're ready for the sequel, Cedric's Revenge, I think the whole film's going to be shot in Puerto Rico.
I
We'll
think
all be there.
it needs to be a buddy flick with you and Little Shifty.
Oh my god! Oh, I'm ready.
Dude, Little Shifty is so good. Did you know that I'm gonna fuck up this story, but Lil Shifty is a character from another movie that he played,
I think
um,
he
as a
was a
gambler.
background.
Yeah, and so they kept the character alive because he was like a gambler or something in this
Hmm.
other movie, and so she was like, "Just be Lil Shifty, just be that guy." And it's like,
Funny.
so there is
Yeah,
this little through line of a Little Shifty's story,
That's funny.
you know?
yeah. The universe expanded. The
He
little shifty
you and
universe.
him at the end of that fight were so great.
Oh my god.
But dude,
Yeah.
so, yeah, Black Rabbit was awesome. So, in terms of the actual doing of the fight, I know they had the doubles, that was, like, to map it out and for camera and but that was pretty much all you, right? On
Yeah,
the
I
day?
mean, there was
Yeah.
certainly like and as you know, the adrenaline when you're in
Mhm,
it, and it was really fun to have, you know, you're certainly not number 1 and 2 on the call sheet, but that
right,
day, the day of all
sure.
the fighting stuff, you are.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
Right.
it's just
yeah,
we're all in the house, and we're all there for that. And
yep,
so the first kind of half of the day was the dance, the first half of it was mapping it out
Mhm.
with the whole team. We'd worked on it the day before previously with the fight team, but then bringing it in with everyone else with obviously, bring it all together. And
Sure.
so that was kind of all mapped out. And then the dance, and then the kind of the after that, we got into the really into the fight stuff. And it was kind of just broken down into beats. Even the beginning, it's like I grab her wrist as she kind of pulls away. I can't remember exactly how it was written, but
Mhm.
it felt something about the bottle dropping, which is like was supposed to be a cue for the kid waking up, like the sound of the bottle breaking and
Right.
whatnot. And then the voices get a little louder. And that was like a cue. And so it just felt weird for her to, I think it was to slap it away or something. It felt wrong. So by me grabbing her, then
Mhm.
she can, try to get out. And that's when the bottle goes.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
that was like, chunk one. And then we get into the slap, which is its own thing, three cameras, lots of coverage. You're going into that. And that sort of thing is like you can't really, it's hard
Mhm.
to bring doubles in for that. So then you go from
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
to her trying to get away. And they did a few takes where it was just them doing everything, and we really watched, we already knew the
Sure.
movement, the dance as well. But then there's a lot of it, as you can see, where you're just seeing
Yeah.
our faces in it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
for, it's hard to hide from there. And
Sure.
so yeah, it was just a lot of like stopping and starting, a lot
Mhm.
of adrenaline, me kicking a sandbag.
Mhm.
I rewatched it this morning, just that chunk, and I remember I think it stayed in like my one final kick, and I kind of fall back onto the radiator there just before the bowling ball drops, and I remember being like really kicking the shit out of and
Yeah.
there she, my amazing co-star Lou, she wasn't like holding the bag, but by there it was Kara down there curled up holding the bag with the big fake blonde wig on and all the,
Mhm.
or she might have actually had a real hair, but she's holding it there, and you're so jacked up on adrenaline and you're like want it to look good. And I remember walking out of there exhausted, and
Yeah.
as I'm walking to like I could have gotten a car, but I was like I want to walk to the it's like not near any subway that I needed, so I'm like walking the 20 minutes. I'm just like, feeling good, sun setting. It's, it's end of summer, and I'm like, oh, that was incredible. And then I like realized my knee is like, oh wow, like I did a number there. Like you're just so in it,
Hmm.
Yeah.
which is also
Yeah. Yeah.
when it can get a little unsafe if
Sure.
you're letting the adrenaline take over. So I think the really cool thing they did, really smart, obviously, these are all like, as very seasoned professionals, but like Tracy, it's like very much like blocking out in
Mhm.
chunks and not trying to do too much.
Yeah.
And because they shot it all from above too.
Mhm.
To have that footage, they shot from the kitchen. They had all these different vantage points, and so some of them it just didn't play at all. So you kind of, we weren't wasting our time there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But it was also gives
we
a
got to
lot of
do everything.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say all those different vantage points looking, from the high angle looking down, from the low angle, from here, from there. It just gives lots of stitch points for editing, so they can really put it together in a great way that they in the way that they did actually.
So, kind of a question more about in and out of character for you when you're playing a
Hmm.
scene like this, and you got to play a guy who's kind of just a fucking piece of shit, and you're not a
Hmm.
fucking piece of shit. I kind of had to play the same role for Carrie and Cinder in a movie, and I found it very hard to cut, have a conversation, and get back to my character when I was playing someone like that. Is it a
Right.
little easier as a switch? Because I know a lot of actors talk to as they get seasoned that turning that on and off is just like a muscle and it's easy peasy. But as I was kind of in the beginning, for me, I almost had to be to a point where I'm like, can you guys stop talking to me in between
Mhm.
scenes? Because I have to go back to finding that scumbag before,
Right.
you know what I mean? And I found it tough. And was that easy for you, or did you really kind of have to been like, I need to stay here?
Yeah, I mean, I
That'd
think
be spicy.
maybe just the difference is that I'm actually a scumbag, and so
I was gonna say
no,
when you first had you on the show, I'm like, dude, this guy sounds like an asshole.
what a jerk, you know. He's got a
We're
matching
we're all
Santa hat. He's
dude.
also
We're
got a
all fooled.
mustache.
We're all
What
fooled.
a
Everybody on
jerk.
that show is a scumbag in real life.
Yeah,
Jude Law,
yeah,
real dick. Jason Bateman,
real dick.
asshole.
Yeah, awful,
Walker
awful
Hare,
people. The
fucking piece of
worst.
shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Tracy
It
Ruggiero.
was
God.
Oh.
Tracy. My God, Hater. Oof.
But so,
That's gonna be
but
like the
were
clip
you?
that's taken out of context.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
right. We love
Just that
Tracy.
moment. Here, listen to us talk shit about everybody.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, totally. This will be the vertical video we choose for Instagram. Is
That'd be
that
so
little
funny.
1 minute section?
There you go.
But
Exactly.
was it so? What? But going in and out of character during the day, is that something that you find fairly easy to do, or is it more challenging, or like what kind of actor are you when are you all in like method guy? Are you what kind of actor are you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I totally know what you're saying, and I used to be I remember doing this Western feature, out in South Dakota, one of the very first features I ever did, and I'm, like, drunk, in this scene, you know, I'm not in real life, but, I remember the guy who was the weapons wrangler slash, horse wrangler
Hmm.
slash many things, one of those guys who's like, "The name's Rob, but you can call me cowboy," you know, and it's like, you know, he
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
up to set and his jaw's broken because he got literally got kicked by a horse 3 days before, shows up anyway. So this guy, I
Wow.
remember him coming up to me and I'm like sitting by myself and I'm like drinking like just water, but taking shots. And he comes over and I have a gun in the scene. I'm shooting at this guy in prison. He goes up to me. He's like, yo, Walker, you can't be drinking and shooting off these I know they aren't real guns, but yeah, I can't have you drinking and then going on set and shooting somebody. And I'm like, "Oh, it's just water." He goes, and he walks over and he smells it. "Okay, well, I guess you are an actor, huh?" And like he didn't believe me. But I needed to like not I know what you're saying in terms of like jokey, 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 and then
Yeah, yeah.
all right. And so I find for me, like, it's just to find like some sort of anchor, something that like and for that scene, like the nice thing about it, I mean, it was a long day. And it's hard to like stay in that like awful place. So, you know, and having the kids around for, you know, they weren't there the whole day, but for parts of
Right.
it, was always, you know, they see you and they're like this like you know, don't need to go get a coffee from the crafty, you know, you're like, you see them as like, boom. And, you know, you're on and you're, you know, it
Yeah.
was really fun to have that relationship with them and
Mhm.
kind of make sure you know, you love dad more, right? Like, you know, we don't have to tell mom, but, you know, dad's the guy. And it's like, I know what happens to you guys when you grow up. You're both messed up because of me. So like, but you know, it's very playful and fun. But then once we got to the point where it was like about to shoot,
Hmm.
having that anchor, the bottle of beer, which was just a prop bottle and was water, but it was like this old, you know, they had an old label on it,
It
and you
brought you
kind of
into it.
look at it. Yeah, I'm like going over to the sink to refill it myself, so it's not like I'm deluding myself into the fact that I'm drunk, but it's just kind of having a moment to like breathe in the kitchen by myself, and you're looking around, and it's like this place is like trapped in the 80s. It looks
Yeah,
very old, and so having that and then just going in the scene and like seeing my scene partner and we had a great time together and really trust each other and yeah and having done the work beforehand and then showing up and just getting to play it's the best.
totally. That's so cool, dude.
Mhm.
Um,
When you it's really funny, like, when you have to when you have to play a part like that, and you're playing the guy that makes everybody uncomfortable,
Mm.
and everyone is uncomfortable with you doing that, but you're uncomfortable being that guy, is very, very weird. When people are like, "Yeah, it's fine, just do it." I'm like, "Yeah, but I gotta get there. It takes a second
Mhm.
to be the weird guy." Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
that I always found that dynamic funny, but at the same time, it also helped because it lets you know that people are comfortable with you being a fucking creep.
Totally. Yeah, and I'd much rather be the fucking creep than like action hero dude whose face is on the poster. I want to be like the villain, the creepy
Yeah.
dude, like I love what oh my god, Colin Farrell in Penguin is like
Oh yeah.
just like such a
Oh yeah,
masterclass in
Amazing.
acting and
and
it's also oh go ahead.
oh no, no, no. I was going to say I completely agree with you because there were moments when I had to play a creepy guy, and they were like, "Hey, just think of some fucked up line to say, and think of just do this and do
Yeah.
that," and then, but when you really kind of get to go dark with it, and then it's kind of fun,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know. So
for
yeah.
sure. Well,
Yeah.
especially if it's like and like I have my own method of how I'm acting, but
Hmm.
I'm not walking around being that guy
Right.
Right.
at Crafty and being that guy to hair and makeup team when because you just I mean I guess certain actors can do that, if they've reached a certain level, but I feel like also it's like you wanna work with these people again. You wanna,
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
at the premiere, at the party, afterwards, so many people coming up, "Big dick, big dick, big dick," and, like, that had seen it or that, like, had remembered, that we'd worked together on set, and, just, like yeah, I don't know. I'd
So,
much rather be Big Dick, who's actually
we
not a dick,
we need we
than
need
the
we need
scary one.
this show to win some Emmys. So up
Hmm.
on the, you can have your Sal Saperstein moment. So like they could be up on stage saying, "And we just want to thank Big Dick for."
Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
Well, I
so
mean, I wouldn't. I think it certainly should be in the conversation for the awards, at
Well,
least from what I've seen so far.
what we were alluding to before we got on the show is like, so I'm watching this show, not your scenes, but the rest of the scenes. And so I don't know if you know, Paul used to be, well, he is a chef, but he used to, that was his profession prior.
Oh, cool.
from
And
like 15 until almost 40.
yeah.
Oh,
So, and
wow.
you, and
Cool.
he's still a private chef. He still does private chef work. But so I'm watching the show and I've seen all these stories. I've heard all these stories that are in the show. And I
Mhm.
call Paul and I'm like, dude, did you watch this show yet? Did you watch it? And he's like, no. I'm like, I feel like I'm watching your stories from working at the Spotted Pig.
Oh, yeah.
So so
Oh,
I
you worked
worked.
there at the
Oh yeah,
Spotted
I,
Pig.
I worked there
Oh,
for
cool.
almost 4 years, and I worked there during that time period. So
Oh, wow.
I have I have all of the parallels to all of those stories.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was a crazy time, and the characters were just in the show were also hit so great, so wonderfully.
Mhm.
Um, you know, uh, the owners were definitely a combination of a few different people,
Yeah.
which was very cool because, well, except for the actual Ken Friedman, the owner of the Spotted Pig, who was named in the lawsuit, they got him. He was a fucking scumbag piece of shit. But um, his brother, as far as I know, Doug was a great guy. He was very very nice to me. I actually had a skateboard I was going to bring,
Hmm.
a DC limited edition Spotted Pig skateboard that they gave out to the employees. Doug
Oh,
actually made
wow.
sure I got my skateboard when I told him I wanted one. Sometimes the kitchen staff would get left out of cool shit, and all the wait staff would get them.
Oh, yeah.
But all the sexual harassment, all of it, it's so
The VIP room, the drugging people, even the shooting.
it was all
It's
Yeah.
there.
all like,
So the shooting was crazy. So there was another restaurant that I was working at, and it was called DeMarco's. For those of you who
Mhm.
don't know what DeMarco's is, DeMarco's was on West Houston, and it was the other restaurant of DeForest Pizza. So
Oh,
DeForest,
cool.
the huge pizza chain, right? The owner, his daughter ran DeMarco's, and they also had a pizza place which served the same pizza as DeForest. So the pizza place was very busy, and then they had a restaurant next door which was owned, uh, run by the daughter. The chef, who looked like Jason Bateman's character, was a giant
Mhm.
fucking scumbag piece of shit. And after working there for about 2 weeks, the guy would serve like slime. There was slimy chicken and dirty mussels. He was just the most disgusting person I've ever worked for. And then I found out he was like sleeping with the daughter, and all kinds of crazy stuff was going on.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, I just got to a point of where I just quit, and I left.
Yep.
And I went out that night. I'm a chef. I went out that night. I got fucking drunk, and slept late that
First
day,
time in history.
and yeah, right, first time a chef ever got drunk. And I look after he quits a job in a kitchen, and I look at my phone and I see 30 missed calls from my brother, and my brother got me this job, by the way. And I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Are you okay?" And he's freaking out. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I'm like, "What's going on?" And he goes, "Dude," he goes, "the DeMarco's, the restaurant that I was at, had a huge shooting, and
Wow.
some guy basically walked into the restaurant, shot the restaurant manager, walked out, and then got into a shootout on the street, shot 2 people, and then shot an auxiliary cop, and then got killed by an auxiliary cop." Right?
Jesus.
So I quit the night before, and I was supposed to be in the restaurant working that day.
Wow.
And what had happened is that guy came in there because the piece of shit chef, right, borrowed money from somebody, spent it or did whatever, and
Mm.
told the guy he lent the money to that the manager took it and lost it. So he comes in that day and starts screaming at the manager, and the manager's like, "I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about."
Like, basically, it was like Bateman getting in with those bad people,
Yep.
gambling the money away.
And he goes to walk
Yeah.
away, and the guy shoots him in the back, and then a whole
Yeah.
shootout ensues outside in the street. And
Wow.
I was supposed to be there that day,
It's crazy, dude.
right? That's
Oof.
Like,
ridiculous.
watching that show,
Yeah.
I was like, this is so
It was
we would
surreal for me
love
to
to have
watch
an
that.
episode with the showrunners, dude, because like we really want to know
It was surreal. The
research that
third
they did.
floor, the research that they did,
Yeah.
they had a lot of great insight into the spotted pig. So I do wonder who they talked. I mean, the first people I talked to were the people that were involved with the lawsuits with Ken Friedman and everybody else. That like I know them. I'm friends with them. Like we
Yeah.
communicate, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, did you? And they're like, I get about 40 minutes into the first episode, and I had to turn it off. Like it was that accurate. It was that
Triggering.
triggering,
Yeah.
and the only difference was that I worked in the back of the house. So I did have a moment. I know I'm kind of going off. I'm really sorry. But I did have moments where the chef didn't go to bat for me, and because she
Yeah.
bowed down to the owner,
Well, and in
Yeah.
the end, it's all your fault because you're the dad.
you know.
It's
Of
all
course.
Walker's fault.
But that they hit some really really amazing dynamics at the show, and working in the kitchen, and then 10 years later finding out the actual version of some of these stories. So like
Mhm.
you would hear a version of a story,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And then you hear like, oh, blah 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 blah, and this person, oh, they were riding home and they fall out of a car. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this person, what? They got drunk and they opened the door and fell out of a car, like this girl, like, oh, the bartender, whatever. And she comes back and she's working there. I'm not naming names, but it was all really weird. And then 10 years later, you find out that she, the owner, right, was trying to force himself on her, and she opened the door and jumped out.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And I find this out 10 years later, and it's like
Mhm.
it's just so surreal that
Yeah.
everyone in the restaurant, this was the story.
Yeah. It was very, very realistic. I mean, I wasn't there, but just from what I had heard from you over the years, it was pretty crazy.
And the high profile owner, the actor, that was Jay-Z. Jay-Z had
Mm.
money and he bought the building for the spotted pig to be in. So
Yeah.
that high profile guy being involved with the restaurant, being involved with the decision making, the chef wanting to leave and go to another restaurant and pushing out the other guy, all of those dynamics happened.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah, well,
remember when April went to go open the other restaurant, John Dory, and when that was all happening. It was they really they had to have good insight.
So we need to take all these people and put them in Second C.
Yeah.
there you go.
Tell us.
Yeah.
So is your aspiration Second C? We watched a teaser by Walker.
Mhm.
A teaser. Now you're a producer in this, and you perform in it, and you're a co-writer.
That is correct. Yeah. I kind of, not joke, but I guess it's become true. But I consider myself an actor first, and then a writer, and
Okay.
then like third, begrudging producer. Um, but so this film, Second C, which stands for Second Chance. It's
There you go.
essentially about it takes place in the not too distant future. It's prisons have been overrun. It's hard to believe, I know. And as a way to deal with overpopulation, prisoners can elect to join this program, Second C. And in the program, the rules are simple. If you win, you're free. If you lose, you die.
So Second Chance, the way you tell the story, it reminds me literally of like a really sort of dystopian future version of the prison rodeo. You know about the prison rodeo
Hmm.
stuff down?
No.
Oh my God, you got to look this up. This is where they'll
Prison rodeo.
yes, where they'll take a bunch of where's it's down in like Angola prison,
Hmm.
right? Where they'll take a bunch of prisoners and like for money, for commissary money or
Yeah.
for different stuff like that, they'll put them in the middle of the arena, the bull riding arena,
Yeah.
and they'll have like let's say four prisoners playing poker, and then they let the bull out, and they're all painted red.
Jesus.
They're all wearing red, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
the last person that doesn't get fucking railroaded by the bull
Is
Like the
the
gets
last
winner.
person that stays sitting at the table.
is the winner, and he gets like all this commissary money or
Oh my
yeah,
god.
it's like totally. Now take that and expand it to like, I mean, it's like when I watched your teaser, which by the way, we just watched it again before you came on, and we were like, this is fucking great. I want to
Hmm.
see this movie. I really
Cool.
want to see this movie.
Those are good.
Yeah,
What?
we're
It's so good.
we've only got a couple shoot days left, and essentially what we haven't shot yet is the B story, which is the part I didn't get to quite yet, which is essentially all across the solar system, people are watching and betting on these games on this program
Ah,
like it's football, like
yeah.
Hmm.
sports have become boring, and so essentially they're betting on human lives. And one little last twist is that any bets that are placed against them, if they win, they receive like half of that pot. So it's not like they
Ah,
just go free; they go free and
with
they're
money.
millionaires.
Well, it kind of reminds me
Um,
of the Running Man.
yeah, it's like it's Running Man.
But the movie with Schwarzenegger, that
The
aspect,
OG.
'cause there's a bit of a
Yeah,
different aspect when you go to the book,
It's like
but
Running Man meets The Hunted meets
The Hunger
The
Games,
Hunger. Yeah, it's like it's a nice. It's like when before I
it's
watched
cool.
it the other day, and I told Paul, I said we've seen these sort of like escape type movies, but
Mhm.
this was such a cool twist on it. It was just
yeah,
really
yeah, and the speaker box itself too is really fun. It's like a big character. I think she
it
actually
looks
has
like
the
an old
most
time camera.
lines. Yeah, she
It
has the
was
most
creepy,
lines in the whole movie.
like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
head in Squid Games.
Yeah. Yeah, similar creepy vibe, and yeah, we just gotta shoot the gambling stuff. We got a couple days left to try and shoot. I'm talking that we have a casting director who's out right now talking to some cool namey people, and hopefully
Cool.
by the time this drops, we will be shooting and life will be grand, and we'll be
Yeah,
able to get
man.
it out in the
That would
world.
be a great Christmas present.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Totally.
indeed.
But how did you I mean, tell me about the crew that's behind this. Who's behind this?
Yeah, so Dennis Donovan, the director, he and I have worked together. We met doing that Western feature I mentioned
Mhm.
many minutes ago. He was an undergrad at the time. This was over a decade ago, and we've kind of just stayed. We've collaborated over and over throughout the years, and this is our second feature together. We had another feature that we're supposed to shoot up in the Berkshires. All that footage is from the Berkshires, which,
Mm,
if you know the area, in the fall, peak
it's
leaf
gorgeous.
peeping season, just
Yep.
incredible. And so we had access to this location for a month, and we had all this momentum. We had a very fancy actor who was going to attach to it, and then the double strikes happened,
Mhm.
and that was that year 2 years ago. And so it was kind of like, pulling the rug out from under us. And he had this other idea on a back burner, this second C idea, and he kind of pitched it to me over. He'd get mad about me telling you this, but I don't care. But he had about a half of a margarita and a can. We were shooting something else together, and he's a little tipsy, and he's like, "I got this idea," we can still shoot something there on a micro budget. Because at the time you couldn't shoot anything unless you got a special agreement from SAG.
Right.
And so he kind of gave me this pitch. We talked about it, and a few months later we were shooting, which was very quick turnaround.
Yeah.
I ran in the lead actor, Keelan Darrell Jones, who's awesome in it. He
Is he the one that
I
says,
ran
"Don't touch me"?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Don't touch me, dude.
he's great. He's been a series regular on things. He's got an amazing part in the upcoming Michael Jackson biopic. Um he's he's really and just most importantly like a really good dude. And I ran into him on the strike line, and he'd just seen me in Babylon, and he kind of was, giving me all these kudos, big ups about Babylon. And I was similarly talking about all the things I'd seen him in recently. And we both went to grad school, but I went to UC San Diego, he went to NYU, and our schools had a showcase together. So that's how we met. So it had been years since we'd seen each other, but it was like an immediate, like, oh, bouncing off each other. And he, agreed to come on after he read the script and loved it. And yeah, we spent a couple weeks up in the Berkshires with a crew anywhere from some days of 3 to one day we had, I think, a crew of maybe 7.
Right.
Um, it was like a beg, borrow, steal, um, find a way to make it happen. And now with this B story, when we're gonna shoot, it's essentially one location, but that one we're gonna have to have some more crew members on set. So
Mhm.
Dude, UC San Diego, by the way, I'm a student there now, remote. I'm going to they have a entertainment safety program. So,
oh, cool. I didn't
yeah.
realize that.
Yeah, it's new. This is the first year they're doing it.
Oh,
But
cool. Go
yeah,
Tritons, fellow Triton. Who knew?
there we go. Are you from California originally, or did you just end up?
I'm I'm originally from San Diego. Yes.
Oh, cool.
On the
Yeah.
whale's vagina.
Sweet, man.
Exactly. I feel like I
Very
have to retire that that it's not really a joke, but that saying, because there's a certain generation that have not seen the movie. And so they say, "Oh, Chile?" And I'm like, "No, San Diego. It's German. Means a whale's vagina." And they're like, and I'm like, "Shit, you don't know what I'm talking about." Okay, all right, okay, fair.
Dude, we were just talking about that. We just recorded another
They're
episode.
they actually are Christina Applegate. They're like, no, no, I don't think that's
No,
too
literally.
much.
Yeah.
It's me being Ron Burgundy, and
Oh my
yeah,
god. Dude, because like we'll teach class and we'll make a cultural reference to the students, and they're all just like staring at us like I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about,
And
man.
we're
yeah,
laughing
yeah,
our asses off.
And I'm like,
yeah,
well, it's really funny, so you should just laugh now.
Well,
yeah,
that's the best
yeah.
part is we don't explain it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
they don't bother because they won't get the
Good.
joke. They're not
That
getting it.
was the punchline. You just
Yep.
and jokes are always funnier after you explain them. Oh, they're just
Oh,
hilarious. That's the best. Yeah,
dude, this
yeah,
was so much fun. I'm so glad we were able to make this happen, man. And
This
it's
was
so
yeah.
great.
cool just to see your success, dude. It's really great.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I loved being here with you guys, and having a chance to rap about all these things, and hopefully get the wheels spinning, get the grease going on the Cedric's
Hmm.
return.
That's it. Cedric's return. Electric
Cinder. Yeah,
Boogaloo.
we're all gonna be there. And
The
Paul, you
electric
can play
boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
you can play another squirrely you could be the third member of our gang. A little shifty,
Oh,
Cedric.
no, you got to go with the other mustache. Another mustache over
Yeah,
here. Yeah,
yeah. Could
that's
we
it.
Be a
just call your
scumbag chef.
character? Could we just call you Creepy Paul?
Yes, you
Yes,
can.
So we have
100%.
Cedric, Little Shifty, and Creepy Paul.
That's it.
I don't even think we need the other people, the other characters. This is just expanding the universe. Little
That's
Shifty
it.
started he started in a Oscar Isaac movie. Then he
That's right.
moved to our movie, and now
I love it.
continue
Dude,
on.
this is like the Cliff Booth movie they're making now. It's
Right?
like
Oh yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but not. Like we have to have you guys, you three do
It'd
it.
be so funny.
Yeah,
All right. I'm in.
dude,
You ready?
thank you so much, dude. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
This is a good episode. I loved it.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Thanks for having me
Have
on.
a great holiday and winter, everybody.
And you as well.
Bye.
Bye.
Film Fights with Friends is produced by Stephen Kepfer, Paul Veracci, Press Record Studios, and Breakfall Studios. This episode was engineered by Matthew Kaplowitz. This show is powered by our supporters at Patreon and is a registered trademark of Film Fights with Friends, LLC. Original theme by Aru Luster.